Good afternoon. We'd like to try to get started. We've got a lot of material to cover today. It should be a very enjoyable experience for all of us. I'd like to welcome you to the Symposium on Space Exploration, Achievements of the Past 50 Years, and Ambitions for the Future. My name is Bill Ballhaus. I have the honor of serving as chairman of the board of USRA Board of Trustees. And this symposium is being held in conjunction with the 50th annual meeting of USRA's Council of Institutions, which includes representatives from all of our 110 universities. As we gather here in this historic building, we're reminded of USRA's founding 50 years ago by the National Academy of Sciences at the request of NASA and as envisioned by Administrator James Webb. Our purpose then, as it remains today, was to provide a means by which universities, government organizations, and other research organizations may cooperate to further the development and application of space-related science, technology, and engineering. Space exploration was central to that founding purpose, but it's no less central today and arguably more important than ever. So we will explore some of these themes this afternoon. On behalf of the USA Board of Trustees, I thank each of you for taking time to join us today and to commemorate USRA's 50th anniversary. And I haven't been with USRA for 50 years, but I first encountered USRA about 31 years ago, as director of NASA Ames in the formation of REACTS and eventually with SOFIA. So I was very happy to be able to serve as a member of the board of USRA. I'm especially grateful to our distinguished speakers whose participation has made such an interesting agenda possible and attracted so many of you to attend. And finally, I want to thank the President of the National Academy of Sciences, Marcia McNutt, for making this possible, for taking time out of her schedule and providing this terrific facility. Let me now turn the floor over to USRA's 7th President and CEO, Dr. Jeffrey Isaacson. Jeff.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great day. Thank you for being here. I have some charts they're going to tee up in a moment. And I'd like to start the afternoon by just saying a few words about our history. We'll have ample opportunity as the afternoon goes on to talk more about that and our future. But where we started and where we're going are a key feature that actually traces back 50 years at this point. So as you know, USRA was founded in 1969. And as Bill mentioned, it really had to do with vision and efforts of the National Academy of Sciences and NASA. And there were two key individuals that were associated with that. The first was James Webb, who was a NASA administrator during the Kennedy administration. And the second was Frederick Seitz, who was the president then of the National Academy of Sciences. In a letter in 1967, which is quoted here in the upper left-hand corner, you see that there was a formal process begun to actually take initiative in convening representatives of a number of appropriate universities to discuss the formation of an association or consortium. And what both of these individuals were keenly interested in was to ensure that NASA had access to the talent in universities as its mission space grew, and especially as it approached a lunar landing and return. And so when USRA was incorporated in 1969, the first task that we took on was the operation of what was then known as the Lunar Science Institute in Houston. And it was associated with the return of those samples. Since that time, USRA has continued to evolve and has filled a mission space that reflects the broad mission space of NASA and other federal agencies. If you look at this chart, I'm not going to ask you to read the words. I'll say a few of them for you. But the upper left-hand corner depicts the early years operating the Lunar Science Institute and what is now known as the Lunar and Planetary Institute in Houston. And that little picture we're very proud of. That was our first home in the West Mansion, which was owned by Rice University. Shortly after we began operating the LSI, we created something called the Institute for Computer Applications in Science and Engineering, ICASE, at NASA's Langley Research Center, and that's depicted on the bottom left corner. There are many accomplishments at this center. Researchers pioneered the development of spectral methods in fluid dynamics, developed a modern theory of boundary conditions for hyperbolic partial differential equations, performed the first direct numerical simulation of transition in supersonic boundary layers, and also conducted pioneering work on parallel algorithms and architectures at a time well before commercial parallel machines became available. In the 1980s, moving to the right on the chart, USRA established the Division of Space Life Sciences, and in over 33 years of operations, made signal contributions in a variety of areas, including bone density loss in space, the effects of intracranial pressure on visual acuity, and other things, space radiation effects on human tissue, and even space pharmacology. Our founding director was Dr. Harrison Schmidt, who's here today. Also in the 1980s, and also indicative of the focus that we've had historically on university research and education programs, we created and managed something called the NASA USRA University Advanced Design Program. And what this was a program that involved university students in senior-level engineering design classes. The idea was that the students selected a design problem of interest to NASA's advanced missions. Prior to the design work at a university, a teaching assistant for the design class spent 10 weeks at a NASA center as an intern. Technical staff from the centers interacted with students during their design effort, which was then conducted during the academic year. We operated this program for 10 years. We touched over 12,000 students, 152 professors, representing 55 different universities. In the 90s, USRA managed the development of the Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, SOFIA, and today, of course, we continue to manage science mission operations. We also supported microgravity research beginning in the 90s at NASA's Glenn Research Center. In the 2000s, we began to manage intern programs for NASA, and what started small today has grown to a program that encompasses some 2,000 students per year, working with NASA, Department of Defense, Department of Energy. Our most recent program, on the upper right-hand corner, is NASA Academic Mission Services. This supports Ames Research Center in such areas as aeronautics, aeroflight dynamics, airborne earth science, and quantum information sciences. These are just some examples. Now, when we started, our original university membership totaled 48. And as you might expect, that has actually grown as we have grown. Today, the number is 111 because Florida Tech was admitted this morning at our annual Council of Institutions meeting. And you can see how this growth has been not only in the United States, but also overseas. Of the 111 member universities today, 13 are non-US members spanning 8 countries, and of the remaining 98, the US members span some 40 states. So, let me thank all of you. That's what I want. Let me thank all of you who've contributed to this history or interacted with us along the way. Our past is distinguished, we're very proud of it, and our future is bright. We're looking forward to it. We as an organization remain committed to advancing the space and aeronautics-related sciences through our research, technology development, and education programs.